Govoreći u Davosu, briselski veleizdajnik osvrnuo se na rat u Ukrajini i ulogu ukrajinske vojske, istaknuvši da je riječ o jedinoj vojsci u Europi koja je prošla takav ispit rata i obrane u modernoj povijesti. Naglasio je da se iskustvo Hrvatske iz Domovinskog rata ne može uspoređivati s razmjerima razaranja i stradanja koje je Ukrajina pretrpjela, dodavši kako je Kijev snažnim otporom uspio smanjiti udio okupiranog teritorija s 27 na 19,5%. Izjava veleizdajnika izazvala je zgražanje javnosti i otvorila rasprave o usporedbama ratnih iskustava, europskoj sigurnosti i daljnjoj potpori Ukrajini. Dragi Hrvati, što više reći? Kad je u Hrvatskoj briselski namjesnik kupi jeftine političke poene, kad kao brani Thompsona, ali čim izađe iz Hrvatske, vidi se zmija koja je i za koga radi. Izdaja hrvatske kune, suvereniteta i agresivna depopulacija. To je odradio, a sada otvoreno priča urbi et orbi da se naš domovinski rat ne može usporediti s tragedijom Ukrajine. Jer što? Naši mrtvi, koji su branili Vukovar od JNA u ono vrijeme treće vojne sile svijeta, su se igrali. Jer naši dečki i generali, koji su se 4 godine borili i planirali Oluju i Bljesak, su tamo nešto bez veze radili. Jer eto majke, čiji su sinovi dali život za ovu zemlju, su suze bez veze prolili. Moj narode, ako sada ne shvaćajte tko je ovaj anemični veleizdajnik, nećete nikad. U nastavku pogledajte i poslušajte neviđenu sramotu.
My name is Michael Nur and I represent Franco-speaking Ukraine. We are vice president for MHP company. We are the biggest producer of poultry in Europe. First of all, from Ukraine...
Keep it short because we've only got 2 minutes.
From Ukrainians, we would like to thank you for all these words of support and for your clear standing for Ukraine, for independence, and for your clear understanding what is the good and what is bad. And this is very important. I will be very short because I wanted to ask about the question about our integration, boosting integration to you, and it's very great that you mentioned it first. But one point I would like to mention in this that maybe, what do you think? Maybe Europe needs more clarity, more strategy regarding how you will perceive, how you see Ukrainian potential to strengthen strategic autonomy of...
Okay, I'm going to have to cut you off there, you won't get an answer. Yeah. Prime Minister Plenković, why don't you answer that, because you wanted to add to some of the other stuff.
If I may just relate a little bit to
Please,
what Madam Tikhanovskaya said, because she mentioned the issue of the sanctions. I think we need to be very clear on what Kremlin is doing. The dialogue between the United States and Russia on Ukraine is the way to, first of all, restore the relations between Moscow and Washington. Secondly, to be in the position to get gradually rid of various restrictive measures or sanctions regime, whether it's European, American, or somebody else's, or UK's. And third, seek the full rehabilitation at the international scene. These are the 3 steps which are crystal clear. Everything that has been happening over the last few months in the context of negotiations is going into that direction. And what we have seen, despite all the packages of sanctions, which did have an impact on Russian economy, and I'm sure everything is even probably more complicated than Gitana suggested, we didn't see the reflection on the political line, nor the political context, nor the strengthening of the opposition, no weakening of the regime, no change of the course. This is the specificity that we are dealing in. That's where the problem is. That's why the United States are in this context with the new second Trump administration in the position to talk, because they talk actually differently than what the rest of us talk in the context of the European Union. They have given themselves a maneuvering space. When it comes to the question of Ukraine, Ukraine actually has a lot to give to Europe when it comes to security and defense. Basically, Ukrainian military today is the only one that has been in such a test of war and defense that nobody else has done that on such a large scale. We are a small country, we had a problem 30 years ago, but it's almost uncomparable to what Ukraine has endured, suffered, and actually resisted so strongly in order to diminish the percentage of the currently occupied territories and illegally annexed from 27 to 19.5, which I suggested to President Zelensky. Never give a drop of an ink to something that may be giving away territories de jure.
What kinds of things will Croatia be arguing for that Europe should respond to from these twin challenges, Russia and the United States now?
Yes. First of all, thank you for being here again for 10th season in a row as the Prime Minister of Croatia. My first point is regarding what we were discussing in December in Brussels. I think whatever the outcome was, pending option A, option B, using the Russian Central Bank frozen assets or the loan, the good outcome that we have found 90 billion euros to finance Ukraine for 26 and 27, both functioning of the state, the entire, I would say, blood flow of the financial system, and also helping Ukraine to defend itself. This was the key political objective. How we got to it was basically a technique. I think the outcome which came out was a little bit more secure when it comes to the legal certainty, and therefore Bart has managed to convince the majority of us that his arguments were fine. When it comes to the two pressures, one coming from Russia with the brutal violation of international law and the aggression against Ukraine after other episodes in the part of Europe which was formerly a neighborhood, now it's more into the enlargement basket. I mean here Moldova and Georgia, which do have basically frozen territories. I think that the key aspect is to remain vigorously on the side of the Ukrainians and on the side of freedom, democracy and international law. This is what we stand for. This is why we have supported so strongly Ukraine over the past 4 years. I think many of us will be heading to Kyiv on the 24th of February to extend further support. And I think we should a little bit revisit what we discussed a few days ago, and that is the peace plan. Now, the Greenland has taken us, the entire debate, into a different direction, a bit odd, unexpected, but these are the realities of a changing global order. We are, as we have seen recently, in the situation where the international organizations, international law, global governance, as we knew it, is changing so rapidly that we need to position ourselves. I think the only safe way for the European Union to remain an actor is to try to be as united as possible. Not necessarily all the governments are singing the same tune. And if that is visible from someone who would like to see a little bit more divisions on the EU side, then that will be exactly the weak spot and the weak link which will be emphasized. So I guess that this meeting on Thursday night is supposed to strengthen our position on supporting Denmark, obviously. That is a very logical way to do it, but also maintaining sensible, reasonable, expected, good transatlantic ties with the United States. I mean, for all of us, despite all the, let's say, noise in the communications channel, I mean, the United States is an ally and a friend. I don't know anybody among 27 who has altered that position. So we need to talk to each other more, maybe be less abrupt in being faced with fait accompli propositions, but more talking to each other and finding solutions for the global order. This is our position, and this is a line of Croatia that has been very clear for the last 10 years.
Zapratite kanal KingInvictus Official. Svakodnevno pratimo i neovisno izvještavamo o vijestima u Hrvatskoj. Borba počinje gdje mainstream završava.